Hello, everybody. This is Tamara Hergert with Empowered Artist Community. And today I am so glad to have Jess Phoenix with me. And we'll be talking about all kinds of things related to pattern design, brand deals, and collaborations. And I am just going to hand the microphone over to Jess, and she'll tell us about her journey.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here. I've been kind of always a creative person. Like both my parents went to art school, so it was kind of like in my blood that this would happen. um but yeah, so I went to art school and studied illustration, and for a while I actually thought like, oh, I want to do children's books. Did not end up working out that way. I just instead kind of wanted to focus on, I don't know, when I graduated I thought like, okay, what can I do? And this was 2005 when I graduated, and this is back in the day when you could get a paid internship. So I figured, oh, I'll get two paid internships and maybe one of them will turn out. One was with a graphic designer, just helping her out using Illustrator to trace maps. And I don't know, it was fine. It was fine. It was a great thing to do. But the other company that I did the internship for was a photo album and scrapbooking company. And I feel
Yeah.
like getting in with them just changed the trajectory of like what I do and what even I thought was possible with the illustration degree that I had. So then I was thinking more about like products and laying them out and working with materials.
Hmm.
That company then went under, lost that job, and then I worked for a Easter basket and food gift company, which was fine. Again, I felt like it was a good, like, it felt similar,
Hmm.
but always being product minded. I think that's
Yeah.
kind of how things started for me. And then this was all back in Rhode Island. And then when I graduated, or when my husband graduated, we moved to Seattle, and I started working for a company called Compendia. And I still work for them to this day. I've been working with them for almost 20 years. And I design cards and journals and notebooks and gift books, and like very much in that stationery space. And I learned a lot, did all kinds of things. But then around 2015, kind of felt a little itchy.
Hmm.
I felt like the work I was doing for them was really satisfying, but also I was getting overly protective of projects. Like I would, present something and people would be like, how about you change that? I'm like, no, I don't want to change that because this is my baby. This is the only creative outlet I have because
Yeah.
that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to like have a job and love doing it and give it your all. And I realized that was not actually sustainable for me. So I figured to give myself a little more space at work, I can't have this be my only creative outlet. So I started playing around with doing floral illustrations. I figured,
Hmm.
well, this is a good way for me to play with color, because that was one of the feedback things that I kept getting at my job was, well, those colors are really bright, but they're almost too bright and they're vibrating. And I'm like, that's what I like about it. So I
Yes.
wanted an opportunity. Yes. Yeah. I wanted an opportunity to play with color. And I first started with abstract, and that was fun. But I don't know. I feel like with abstract, it takes a lot of time, a lot of like, just to really feel confident in what you're doing, because,
Yeah.
there's so many options. And I figured, well, I don't know, maybe I'll just draw some flowers because I can be loose with them. I could still play with color and
Hmm.
composition. And so that's when the Jess Phoenix brand sort of started up. And
It's amazing. Yeah.
it was a different time though, too. That's the thing that is, it's just kind of tough when I think about, younger people getting started now. Like this
Hmm.
was the heyday of Instagram, and the things that I did back then, I don't feel like they work anymore. I mean, I'm thankful that I'm able to be where I'm at because of, that time, but it's just like when I was born that caused the ability
Yeah.
to like capitalize on that.
Yeah. But also your consistency. I feel like
Yeah.
you have like a very consistent approach to like what you post on Instagram. Like
Yeah.
I'm not seeing that many reels like on your channel. It's mostly just photos, but they get very good engagement. And I think that's because of your consistency in your like this is what I do. And
Mm.
if you like it, great. If you don't like it, I'm not gonna like put glitter all over myself and like stand like this and like, you know. So I think that that is called authenticity and consistency.
Yeah, I mean, it is hard though. I mean, I do feel a little bit of the like, oh, I'm being a little left behind because I refuse to do as much video content as Instagram wants. Um, but I just know it's not my forte. And it's not like I'm opposed to it, but it just has to feel natural.
Yes.
It's funny, the other day I made some ornaments and I decided, okay, I've never done this before, but I'm going to make a story showing them. And then I was talking and like, this is just weird. I don't really, I've
Yeah.
done videos where I'm like,
Yeah.
but having my voice was a little vulnerable. And there's a woman who reached out to me. I think it's Windy Hill Whimsy. She's working on refurbishing a 100-year-old dollhouse. But she messaged me and she was like, I'm really like, I'm amazed that you spoke and that would terrify me. But I'm like, but you've done videos where you show your face. And so I don't know. It's like
Yeah.
everybody has what they're comfortable with. And yeah,
Yeah.
I wish I did like to do videos more. I think like there's part of me that's like, well, maybe I could figure out something someday. But yeah, it would have to be authentic.
Yes. Yeah. You know, for some artists, it's like it's the thing that they love to do. And so
Hmm.
for some artists, they're so private in their like regular life and they're even more private in their creative life. Like sometimes I feel like I'm working on this project and I'm loving it. And I really don't want to have a camera pointing in this direction right now
Yeah.
because it's going to affect my creative process. Like, you
Hmm.
know how you feel like even this very short reel is going to interrupt that flow,
Yes.
right?
100%. Yeah.
So me feeling like I'm just not going to do it, even though I know if I like create this reel and I share it and I'll get a whole bunch of engagement and stuff, my final product, like final thing that I'm working on, it's just not going to be the same. It's not going to be as good if I just let myself just have this peacefulness and this uninterrupted flow of creativity and just quiet, you know? And I don't know if other artists feel the same way. So sometimes I cheat. Sometimes I finish what I'm working on. So it's a final product and I take dry brush or a pencil and I just kind of like pretend that I'm actually working on it, but I'm not working on it anymore. This is just me kind of fake working just to show that, okay, I'm working on it. This is a video, this is a reel, but I'm done with it. So
Yes.
I think a lot of artists are sacrificing that for the sake of like pleasing the Instagram and
Yeah.
growing there, which, which is, their choice.
Hmm.
And everybody just has to make that choice for themselves. So if you feel like you have the need to cheat a little bit, it is totally okay to cheat.
Yeah, I've always been somebody that I've been a little private about like showing work in progress, which like even back at when I was at school at Rhode Island School of Design, like the like anything that's like, oh, we'll show your sketches of like, I'm just gonna show a final piece of artwork. I don't want to show my sketches. I don't want to show the process. I just want to go,
Hmm.
ta-da, here it is.
Yeah.
And if there's changes, then I'll just do the whole thing over again.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's not really sustainable. And I'm still struggling with that. There's a lot of like presentations that I have to do for my job and
Hmm.
we're supposed to give them a like we have presentations on Wednesdays and I'm supposed to send a preview the
Hmm.
day before to give people like an idea of what I'm going to talk about. And I always skip that step because I'm like, no, I want to be like, ta-da! Like
Yes.
I love
Yeah.
the ta-da factor. And,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. It's funny you mentioned with the the cheating or the other things like the other day when I was painting the ornaments I thought, "Oh, I should probably film this or something
Yeah.
like to show that I'm doing something physical because people love when you're doing something physical." I took like I have like, one of those canvas
Yeah.
lights, but I was using it as like, I'm like using it as my lighting. So I didn't want to set up my phone and I was holding my phone and then I'm like, well, I'll just paint this line. And then I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
cool. I did that bad. Like I did that that's a poor line, but
Yes.
I got the shot. Like,
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. That's my point. So you sacrifice your quality. for
Yes.
the sake of showmanship, you know, like
Mhm.
so I do live events, and so I basically live paint like different venues for like an event, and I also cheat there. So you know how Bob Ross used to practice every painting before his live shooting of his show. So I
Yeah, I think it
basically
was
do the
3
same
times that
thing.
he would do it.
Yes. And he was also very private person, very shy. Like you can hear it in his voice that like he's not like, oh, he's not like big and gregarious, but kind of very peaceful and quiet and kind. So I'm sort of like that. And I practiced twice. So first I practiced digitally. So I like create a concept. Okay, this is the design, like basically digital image of what I'm going to paint on a larger scale. And I send it to the client. They say, "Oh yeah, great! You know, oh, can we also add this little thing here, and like maybe we shift it to the right?" And so that's basically my concept design and editing phase. Because a lot of artists they are so scared of doing like this kind of work, like commissions or live events, because they're afraid of edits. Because edits are pain in the butt, like especially like when you're doing stuff on a large scale. And so I do the digital one, and then I also basically I get two the same scale canvases or like portable canvases, and I do a practice one at home, and I time it basically because usually an event is like 2 or 3 or 4 hours long, and if I'm doing a live event, I need to be able to do that stuff from start to finish in a certain amount of time, and so I practice at home, and I don't film it, I don't take photos of it. My husband sometimes like pops in and like snaps a photo of me when I'm like bending over and you can't really see my face. But still it is like, you know, it is nice to be able to just do it at home and do it in a way that um I'm kind of in a planning phase. Like, you know, like I'm very thoughtful about how I do that. And then when I go basically perform, I'm totally ready. I'm very confident and I'm very peaceful inside because I know I can do it in this amount of time. And people can feel that and they're like, wow, this is so amazing. And they're like talking to me and I'm talking to them. And I feel like that's how you should you should do that kind of stuff because uh you need to be prepared, you know,
Yeah.
and like for your presentation, probably you like plan things out, tweak it a whole bunch of times. And
Yeah.
let's dive into our questions. So, how do you get brand deals? And do they find you or do you reach out and pitch your collaboration to them?
I wish I had oh, this is the secret to success, but I don't. I mean, I do feel like the opportunities that I've had, most of the the really great opportunities that I've had, it's been people finding me. And that's a little disappointing because I mean, I think a lot of people wish that they could pitch and it turns into something great, which I know other artists where that does happen to for them. I don't feel like it's ever happened for me. I don't know. Or I may have pitched to paintbrush studios for
Hmm.
fabric or something. Or
Yeah.
I can't remember. But yeah, as far as working with Haagen-Dazs, working with Biolage and
Hmm.
Sephora, all of that stuff just fell down into my lap,
Yeah.
magically. And I mean, it's great, but I don't know. I don't know how to keep making it happen. Even right now, I have things that I'm doing and
Hmm.
they're more related to work that I've done that now I'm in the promotion stage, but I don't have anything right now. There's nothing. It's silence out there. But I mean, I've also heard that just from a lot of creatives in general,
Hmm.
even fine artists, that I'm friends with a lot of fine artists and just sales are down for fine art. Um, I think we're just kind of in a tough time right now. Um, but I don't know. I do think that one of the things that has surprised me about hearing from some of these brands that reach out,
Hmm.
I do try to ask, well, how did you find me?
Yeah.
It's usually Instagram, but sometimes it's Pinterest, which
Yeah.
that's the thing that I keep there's moments where I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna really try to hit Pinterest hard and
Yeah.
post there more often and try to make more of a presence," because I already had I don't know, a presence over the years just from people sharing my stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I do it a bit and then I fall off the wagon and I don't know.
Yeah.
It's really it's hard to be consistent, but that is really it's funny, like
Mhm.
I am an art director for
Yeah.
the job that I work for, and that's how I find people. I find
Mhm.
artists
Yeah.
primarily through Pinterest, actually.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, that's a good way for people to, think about their work and how to get it out there. And then, yeah, I mean, being consistent with your Instagram posting is good. Though I've never been somebody who's like, oh yeah, you got to make your post every single day. I never did that.
Yeah.
When I was at my like peak Instagram doing stuff, it was
Mhm.
twice a week.
Mhm.
And now I'm still or maybe it was 3 times a week. It was like but not every day.
Yeah.
And I've actually heard some things recently where like, people that, like, study engagement and all that stuff,
Yeah.
like, "Do you have to post every day?" No, you don't. And
Yeah.
that's the quickest way to burn out. And I've struggled with burnout even though, I don't know, like, even posting as little as I do,
Mhm.
I'm still burnt out. And yeah, I feel like a lot of people don't really know how to make this weird social media thing work for them. It's tough.
Mhm.
And yeah, I don't know. I don't know if brands are even perusing Instagram the way that they used to find people. I mean, again, speaking as also an art director, that's the only like,
Yeah.
Pinterest, Instagram. I do look at those things, but yeah,
So, do you ever look at, like, some random product and you think, "That is so beautifully designed. I wonder who designed it." Yeah?
yeah, yeah. I
Yes.
I think about that all the time, um and I'm gonna be honest, sometimes you get a little jealous.
Yeah.
Sometimes you see something out there, you're like, "Oh, that's so gorgeous. Oh, I wish I could do that." One example is, the brand, like Danica or
Mhm.
something. I
Yeah.
see all their stuff at, like it's so beautiful. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, this is so great. How could I wonder if I could work with them." And I did some research. They're like, "We are completely in-house. We do
Yeah.
everything. We don't freelance out." They're
Yeah.
Canadian.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Okay, good for you guys," but
Yeah.
I'd love to have, like, I don't know, the kinds of products that they make. I could see my stuff in there so easily, but it's
You
not to
know,
be.
it has been my experience that even when they say we're completely in-house, they do like promotional things or like one-off things. So which is like a brand collaboration, right?
Yeah.
So even if you see that they're like officially doing everything themselves, there's still a chance to get it because if
Yeah.
you do have a very strong presence, if your work is like very high level and professional and it's in line with what they are producing, I think it doesn't hurt to pitch. Like for me, I have a favorite brand of dishware. Their china just speaks to me on so many levels, and so I have been like actively researching like how do I pitch to them, and I have found like how to pitch to them, but I realized that I myself need to like pull myself up
Mm.
to be at that level so that they would actually consider working with me. So uh, you need to be like very honest and truthful with yourself when
Yeah.
you're pitching. Like, okay, well, I'm gonna pitch like this portfolio to them, and it needs to be a strong one. It needs to be
Yeah.
in alignment with what they're already doing, or it needs to be like visually coherent as a body of work. It can't be. I just made these random things and they're all cute, but they don't look like a collection,
Yeah.
right? Right. So because typically they kind of want to see very consistent application of color and composition and pattern and like the way you're like or medium. For example, if I have some things in pencil, some things digital, some things in watercolor, they kind of look all the same because it's me, it's my style, but
Mhm.
visually they still look different, right? And
Yeah.
so just having this very consistent and coherent style and like even 5 images can constitute a portfolio. Even three would do, but they need to be really good.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's where I am at, and I found you when I was like shopping at
Mhm.
Costco, and I'm like, "Oh, let me look at, at dishware because that's my thing that I like to do because I love china and plates and cups. And so every other year, I treat myself to a new set of something. And I was looking at yours, and I thought, "Oh my god, my friend would love that," because like her house is decorated exactly that palette, and I
Well,
can
that's
see
great.
like similar patterns like here and there. And I'm like, "Oh my god, she would like freak out." Yeah, so I totally shared it with her, and I'm like, "I wonder who designed it." And I see Jess Phoenix, and I'm like, "I wonder if I can interview her." Yeah, so and that's why I reached out because I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh my god, this is amazing!" Like, I love all your patterns, and like I think all the brands that have worked with you so far, they're so just so lucky. Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah,
With Over and Back, the dishware company, like,
yeah,
that's again, they found me, and I was just like, I'll usually
yeah,
get emails in the morning, and, like, I'll check it in bed, and then,
yeah,
like, my husband's asleep next to me, and I'll have to be like, "I got an email from something," and it
yeah,
seems like it's legit. It seems like it'll be
yes,
big. I'm good. And it's funny with them, like, it's like, it wasn't always, like, pitched to me as a collaboration. I mean, they were just like, "Yes, we wanna use your artwork. That sounds great."
yeah,
And, then as the talks went on, the artwork I
hmm,
made for them, then they were finally like, "Oh, so, I mean, but we're gonna have a little thing on the bottom of each plate that has your name," which wasn't from the beginning. Like, when I was
yeah,
negotiating the contract, I think I asked, like, "Well, at least I needed mouse print. Like, I need some
yes,
sort of
acknowledgement.
acknowledgement," but I was open to
Yes,
just that, but they wanted to go a little harder and make it more of a brand collab, which yeah,
yeah,
I feel like that is one of the most successful collaborations now that
yeah,
I mean, that I don't know, elevates my brand,
yes,
which
yeah,
is still kind of new. I don't feel
hmm,
like, a lot of people will reach out until you get like 100,000 followers for those
yeah,
like this thing featuring Jess Phoenix
hmm,
like as this
yeah,
brand.
yeah.
Which I mean, it's a little discouraging because like I mean I'm at 60 something, which like I worked hard to get here and I think it's great, but
Hmm.
like I don't know how to rise to the next level. I think I probably have to make videos and I don't.
I will. I have an idea for what you could do to have more brand deals and more collabs. So you basically need to make it easy for them to grab your portfolio and to pitch it. If you want to work with me, just comment or DM
Yeah,
with this one word. Yeah. So that would be my suggestion for things like fine artists price list. Like if
yeah,
they have a portfolio of paintings that are available for sale, just DM price list or something like that, or common price list. And that's how you like find people who are interested in that because they're interested in seeing your prices. Um, and same thing with your portfolio. Basically, you would get into their comments or DMs, and your stuff will be shown to them sort of like on a priority basis because Instagram kind of establishes a connection between the two of you. And they're like, "Oh, these people are talking to each other. They're DMing and they're commenting on each other's posts." And so later, all of your future posts, they will be kind of like prioritized towards you. So
okay,
yeah. So
yeah.
that's my tip for you.
Yeah, I have usually when I pitch to people, I make like a special to them PDF that has work that I feel is most relevant to who I'm pitching to. So like, yeah, already in that
Yes.
mindset of like having something like, yeah, it's never useful to just be like, just check out everything. Like you have to give them something that on first glance, this is who I am and this is how I can be like aligned with what you guys already do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Same thing like with the website. I love how your website is designed. Like you're like, "Well, here's my work. If you want to work with me, reach out to me and here you go." It's very straightforward. A lot of artists don't do that, I think. Like they're like, "Well, here's my work." And then there's nothing like there's no invitation to work together.
Yeah.
And people, when they're browsing through your website, they need that invitation, even though it's kind of like it makes sense that if you want to work with me, just reach out to me through email. But they need to see that you're like, yay, I would like to work with you. If you want to work with me, just, let me know. And
Yeah.
yeah, so I get a ton of emails from customers. I think mostly for that reason, because like on every single page of my website, they say, I'd love to work with you. If you want to work with me, reach out.
Yeah.
And so they do. Yeah. So I am just so thankful to you for being here with me and for just giving us so much valuable advice. And I'm just so thrilled to finally have this conversation with you. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
it
thank
was
you
a
so much.
while to try to figure out meeting up,
Yeah,
and I'm glad we
I
were able
know.
to finally do it.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. And I'm wishing you happy holidays.
Happy
And
holidays to you.
yes, thank you so much.